And here's how they line up under Marvette Anderson. Shamir Sterling, she loved the moment in the camera spotlight just then. Thomas and Romelda Aiken. There's real legacy from previous tournaments in this team. As for Fiji, the likes of Kahakatoa played in the Super League here in the UK. Real strength from them too, and they believe they can come out and take on this Jamaica side. Under Vicky Wilson, who's been there and done it and won World Cups with Australia previously. Alongside me, Amma Agwezi, former England captain, could still do a turn on this court. What do you expect from this game, Amma?
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite exciting. Both teams have flair, both teams have poise. It will be a taste of Jamaica, but they want to get consistency for the tournament, so it'll be good to see how they start this tournament off.
Shamira Sterling in that defensive end. She's one of the players that turned up in the Super League. She's gone out to Australia. She's really shone on that international stage.
Massively, she's grown and grown as a player. I think she's flown under the radar. Jamaica generally have in general, but Shamira is a one to watch for this whole tournament.
Players to watch for this Fiji side. Vicky Williams is a winner, is a champion herself as their coach, and she's really put the work in between these combinations in this side and blending the youth and experience.
Yeah, definitely. They've got a player from the World Youth Cup playing in there, and then also Vicky was an amazing goal shooter, and she's done her work here with the Fijian goal shooter. So for player and shooter, she's one to watch for Fiji. She's a solid goal shooter in this.
So Jamaica up against Fiji here in Liverpool, start of their World Cup campaigns. This, where Jamaica believe they can go on and challenge, be in that final and take that gold. As the heartbeat rattles around the arena just to build the tension a little bit more. This point before that ball comes out for your first match at a World Cup, how's your heart doing at this point then, Emma?
I think your heart is racing, and you just want that first 30 seconds to get it sorted. But the girls at the moment, you can see them standing around, jumping around, getting ready, but I think they're excited. They just want it to get started.
Them and us both, when you see bringing the ball on then to start this moment. What a moment. This is about inspiring, about empowering and showing young girls here and across the world that they too can be professional netball players on the biggest stage. First centre pass then for Jamaica. Dean Thomas with ball in hand. All white, with the hands on the dress, on the trainers, and the first pass then delivered.
Final distraction centre!
So first turnover then from Fiji, just out.
Yeah, very unfortunate there. The goalkeeper, Kakatoa, was watching play really well. She picked up that ball. Unfortunately, they stepped out of court, but almost unable to capitalise on the Jamaican mistake, and Jamaica scored their first goal.
A settler then for Shanice Beckford, another of those who's played in the Super League here in the UK. Melda Aiken does well, lands. The eyes went one way, the hands went the other, but Fiji again try and rumble the ball away. Back in Jamaica hands.
I think that was just evident of what the game's going to be like. There's going to be a bit of rough and tumble, and there's tussle at the moment. But so we'll see. I think in this first quarter they will settle, and we'll see who's going to take it, who's going to take the game and dominate it.
Another settler then. Jamaica goes 2 up.
And we saw that second goal there was as a result of an interception from Vanjali Williams. So she wants to make her mark. I think the defensive end of Jamaica, they want to hold up their hand. Shamira Sterling, we've talked about her, but actually we want to see who's going to play alongside her, and Vanjali's putting her hand up now.
A 50th cap, Williams, for this Jamaica side. And that's the blend of youth and experience that they've got, been building this team over the years. Fiji, though, on the edge of the circle.
I think the pressure there that Jamaica put on, they had a lot of players around the ball, and the Fijians were all behind the ball carrier. And so, as a ball carrier, that's really intimidating, and you're not sure who to pass to.
Rauluni then to put Fiji on the mark. Effortless.
Pretty much. I think that's the work that you do in training as a goal shooter. When you come to a game, it's just natural.
Aiken with it.
It's a really difficult job to contend with a goal shooter who's 6'5". Although Kakatoa isn't giving away too much height to Imelda Aitken, but as a tall shooter, you might be 6'5", but actually your arm span is huge, and so I think that's the biggest issue that you have to contend with.
Wings as wide as the liver bird outside here in Liverpool. Fiji come with it again. Big moment for Haystack going for the layoff. Bachir making her official debut. That would have been one.
That would have been amazing. Hopefully we've got a few more of those to come in the game yet. Oh, a great tip there from Gallo, the Fijian women's defence, but Jamaica's still retaining possession, so we'll see what they can do with it. A bit of body contact there between the goal shooter and goalkeeper. Netball is meant to be a non-contact sport, but there we understand it. If it's 50-50, the umpire just lets it go, and you just have to get on with the game.
The umpires possibly with their work cut out. First game between Jamaica and Fiji of the evening session. Look at the slip through there. Brilliantly read.
That was an amazing setup from Jamaica, almost leaving a player unmarked inside the circle, but then just having a running defender floating in and taking that ball.
Oh, Aiken almost getting carried away with the fluidity of the move before her.
I think she got a bit excited about it. As a defender, when you make an interception like that, you want it to be finished off. So it's really frustrating when you send the ball down to the end and the shooter doesn't put it away. So I think Aitken at the other end there will be reeling at the fact that she didn't put that goal away just from the amazing flair from the defenders.
There's one for the family scrapbook with Bachir. Her first goal in international netball. She's played in some of the games coming into this, but the first official game that counts for the rankings and for her caps too.
I just want to point out Shamira Sterling's shoes. So I know we've seen some brands where they actually make two different coloured shoes, but she has two different coloured shoes on, and I actually think they're just two. She's got two pairs of shoes, and she's chosen to wear one of one colour and one of the other. I think it kind of shows she's dominated. She's confident. She's in these games, and she's here to show her presence.
So confident she was playing for half of that with one shoelace undone. Health and safety first. Now. They've got such strength in that attacking end as well.
They do, and I think the fact that they can rotate numbers, having two 6'5" goal shooters is impressive for any team, and any team would kill to have those two shooters.
Held ball. Were you doing the 1 and 2 and 3 and?
I'm sure umpires count 3 seconds very, very quick.
And Aiken playing with that, just readjusting her hand. A difficult target to mark in that area. As an international defender yourself, how do you go up against that?
I think actually what's best is sometimes you need to give them a bit of physicality, so be on the body, but actually when a shooter's that much taller than you, staying off the body, moving around, trying to confuse the space before they put the ball in, because there's only so many tips and interceptions that you can get from someone so tall. Fiji are actually playing with quite a bit of control, and they're working the ball into the circle as best they can. Almost like a basketball game over there.
Advantage obstruction wing defense. Advantage obstruction center.
Aiken's taking a little while to settle into her shot, and the girls will have had training matches before this, so I know that they've played games, but I don't know whether it's nerves or something, because usually it's very uncharacteristic for Romelda to miss a shot so close to the post.
A bit of an angry throwback with that ball there too.
Get that frustration out on the off court before the whistle goes.
Jamaica though play their best netball when they've got the attitude before. We see them dancing onto court as they came out for their warm-ups, and Aiken too. There's a bit of spice in it.
I think when you're a goal attack, you have confidence to shoot from anywhere if you know that you've got someone 6'5" under the post to rebound your shot.
Denise Beckford with her 40th cap for Jamaica. Another one of those experienced players. Fiji just unable to land that one.
Yeah, just overcooked it a bit, and I think it's just building of pressure. So you might not necessarily see everyone always coming out for the ball, but I think Jamaica there, they just put excess pressure on and just forcing errors. You don't mind how you win the ball as long as you win it.
7 goals to gap at the moment. Back out to the edge of the circle. They're getting hassled. Not easy passage through.
Beckford there for Jamaica. She's the workhorse, so she does all the work. She moves around, she swings the ball, she goes again, trying to create an open up space for the tall shooter behind her.
I caught that one.
It's interesting. I think when you Jamaica play, they do get very frustrated with each other. And there was a slight look there from Beckford at the centre, pretty much saying, who was that to? But I think they actually had a smile, which is great, because eventually sometimes they can sort of have a go at each other, but so far that's not happening.
Vicky Wilson watching on to drill these players and these combinations. Great splits game from Abram. And that's why she can shift from the edge of the circle right under the post in one move.
Exactly, and so that we'll talk about the wingspan, but also that split landing, it just kills defenders. You think, I've got a really wide outside, far away from the post, but they split land and they're right under the post again.
Little bounce and just trying to find a way through, trying to figure things out for Fiji.
I'm really impressed with Fiji's patience. What's letting them down slightly is just their passing accuracy, but they are working the ball really, really well. So I know their coach, Vicky Wilson, will be hoping that they can capitalise from some of those balls.
Here goes Romelda Aiken. 7 from 10 for her. Just all that work through court. Every one of these Jamaica players part of that defensive work. And Beckford puts another through.
It's interesting though that that was a penalty pass shot, and I would have thought that Aiken would have taken it just to kind of get into a rhythm and settle on an easier shot. She's shooting at 70%, which is quite uncharacteristic of her. She's usually in the high 80s, usually the 90s. So she's at 7 out of 10 so far in the game. That's a comfortable shooting amount, but for a shooter of that height, you'd want it to be higher.
Up the other end of Fiji, just trying to hang on to it. Call goes against them. Now Sterling starts from the back again. Quick hands through. Fast feet and land again, and sometimes a little bit more of a breather for these Jamaica players.
Yeah, a bit of miscommunication there, but they managed to retain possession. It tipped off a Fijian player, and so it was a Jamaican back line.
There's Beckford again. You've seen her operate in the Super League here in the UK. You've seen her operate around the world, and she just goes about her business quietly, lets the others shine sometimes.
Yeah, she's very unassuming, and she does do a lot of work, and she goes unthanked for it because of the tall goal shooters that are behind her. But actually, her and Aiken are sharing the shooting load, so they both had 10 attempts, and Beckford has scored 8 and Aiken's only put 7, and Aiken again has missed another shot. I don't know whether it's the pressure of starting the game and getting the call up ahead of their captain.
That is contact and offside.
They enjoyed that one.
Yeah, definitely. It was amazing. The shooter drew them forwards, both defenders got sucked in, and it was open at the back. The whole team was screaming from the bench, trying to let the ball carrier know that there was someone on.
Another of those nearly moments, but still Fiji have it. Toribao with and just over the top again, but easier said than done when you've got Sterling buzzing around you at the back. Now what can Fiji do? Fisher trying to set it.
That was a great takedown from Bashea. So Fiji are overcooking their passes that bit much, but that was good to retain possession.
Brilliant from Bashea. She was at 50%, she'd only had 2 she'd put up, but now 2 from 3.
An unforced error there from Jamaica, so we'll see if Fiji can capitalise.
I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you shoot from there?
She's very confident, I think. I think with teams, trying to get goals in succession is a great thing, and you want to build up goals on teams, especially when you're behind. And so Fiji have another opportunity here to score again, and Jamaica will be working really hard to prevent that happening.
Rauluni, the captain at Goal Attack, had a couple of years out after surgery, has come back and said that she wants to make her family proud. That'll do it.
contact, Fiji, back to side.
She's actually a really good workhorse for the team. She's doing lots of work. She has good vision. Just then we saw her flick the ball into the shooter, even before the shooter realised. Shamira Sterling of Jamaica did realise. She flicked it off the back line.
Oh, Sterling's there again.
Exactly. She wants to make her mark on this tournament. I think it's quite interesting. No team has actually settled into it. The momentum is imbalanced. It's shifting from one team to the next. There's lots of loose balls, lots of body.
That was such a great little intercept then from one of the former baby pearls, and I'm only saying that because I love the nickname. Elisa Gala, part of that World Youth Cup team. Really shining for the scenes. She's doing the work at the moment of just trying to calm down this team. We love it when Jamaica play with the flair. We love it when they've got that bit of energy, but sometimes they do just need to calm.
Yeah, and I think we heard their coach earlier say they want consistency, and so you can't always play with that flair. Sometimes you need control, you need patience. And so I think Jamaica, if they want to win this gold medal, they'll need a balance of both.
New balls, please. Not quite Wimbledon.
She gets a cheer from the crowd.
A step in and another goal through. 17 plays 6, last minute and a half of this first quarter. We expected Jamaica to come out flying.
Shamira Sterling came out flying just as on cue as you asked for.
We are but a breath away from her, so maybe she was listening.
Are you trying to claim that you're coaching now?
Yeah. That's illegal, isn't it? No. No one needs to coach this young gun Bashir. What a debut she's having.
Yeah, she's not really confident. She just knows her timing. I think sometimes a tall goal shooter or a more athletic goal shooter, they tend to be static, but she's actually really agile and she moves around the court really well.
Another one for Romelda Aiken. You mentioned that Janelle Fowler, her captain, sat on the bench. What a target to bring on if they need to.
That was a great flying interception there from the goal attacking captain, Rana Nui, and she's managed to retain possession for Fiji. It's exciting.
Offside, Finta. Inside.
I mean, someone's chilling on the docks. Oh, and another flyer.
Oh, she was just that bit late. I think as a keeper, it's really difficult to read your timing, and just then she'll be upset that she was that bit late and made contact.
That one settles, and Jamaica have had moments in this first quarter where it's not been easy. Questions being asked then by this Fiji team, but Jamaica with the 10-goal lead at the break. They came into this tournament hoping to make that gold medal match. They knew along the way they'd have to try their full 12. At the moment, Romelda Aiken standing up, but being ably presented with Shanice Beckford there too, showing just the strength that they've got in that circle. Jamaica with the lead. It's Jamaica with a 19-8 lead at the end of quarter time then. Jamaica really hoping to go into these games and show what they're worth. They've seen Australia and New Zealand, two teams with hopes of making that final, already with wins today. England coming up after this one. And you would imagine Amma Agwezi, former England captain, that those four teams will be there or thereabouts. But seeing this display from Fiji, they're showing already what they can do in this group.
It is. Oh my gosh, that was an amazing feed. They saw the shooter on. Jamaica are setting it up though, so they're leaving the shooter open, and then there's a defender coming in for the fly. Fiji are falling into it. I think they can get the ball there. Unfortunately, that time they didn't, but they've still retained possession.
Opening the trap, allowing them in, and Fiji score.
I think the score isn't reflective of the game, so the momentum is still shifting. Jamaica do have a massive lead, but Fiji are definitely still in this game. Oh, a great layup there from Aiken. She's getting more comfortable. and there we see that ball land. So the goal attack ran wide, created the space, and the wing defence gave a brilliant ball into the circle. You want that. You want one ball from the centre pass, and then the second goal ball into the circle.
Ah, the sucker punch though, gutting that the ball gets turned. Sucker hands all over from Fiji. Now trying to get it back, but the target of Aiken. You see that quite a bit from Ronaldo Aiken. Sometimes just under the post when it looks like it's the easiest shot in the world.
Yeah, it's interesting. When you're close to the post, you bend your knees less. And so for such a tall shooter, she bends her knees even less than any other shooter. And so I think she just underplays her shot that little bit. So she'll be frustrated. She wants her shooting stats to be 100%, and at the moment they're not. But she's just still warming into the game and the tournament.
So confirmation of the changes then. Rawaluni heading to that goal defence position. Those changes around. Lucia, who we saw so strong. Still at that goal shot.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. There was a tussle there for the rebound. The goal attack got in really high there, but unfortunately the umpire deemed that she'd made contact. Usually defenders are the ones who get called for contact, so I'll have to allow it that the umpire deemed it was the goal attack piece of play.
You arguing with an umpire?
Me? Never.
A bit of a hold time, just to readjust the hairband. Gets thrown to the side by Romelda Aiken, and we're back underway.
Her focus is the game, so she can do without that hair piece.
It's actually a bit of hair.
No. It was her headband.
I think that's pretty brutal if she's pull her own hair out.
Anything for the game.
Yeah, don't come near me. Nope, she's going back now. She'll pick up the hairband and readjust. There we go.
Good pressure there from Sterling. She came around the outside of the shooter, outside hand, unable to pull it in, but just building up the pressure on Fiji.
There are replay balls.
Yeah, so once you gain possession of the ball, you can't bounce it or drop it. So that was what that player did then. You can bounce the ball once, and then once you've got possession, you have to keep a hold of it, and you can't play the ball around in your hands, which is what Anthony does then.
Jamaica just working around, looking for those angles. Thomas again finds Aiken. Just bounces. Batch does well with the rebound, does Romelda Aiken. Now for the eagle-eyed amongst you, there's something happened up the defensive end for Jamaica. We'll point it out in just a minute.
Aiken again, shooting, undershooting. She needs to put a bit more knees into her shot and get that lift.
Kakar though, a real presence in that defensive end. Right, have a look at the fast feet there of Shamira Sterling. She has rebooted and suited. Both trainers match. Same effect though, she got the ball away, but now it's back in Fiji hands.
Maybe she didn't feel too comfortable. They're actually a completely different pair of shoes, so maybe she was getting a feel of what was happening.
Interesting that attacking change for Fiji. I thought they were doing all right in that circle, but bringing Lisano Agger on, and also Lydia Panapasa in there too.
Yeah, it was interesting because they were doing okay, but I think in the early stages of the tournament, sometimes you want to get all your players out, get them all embedded into the tournament and get that experience. Potentially, I'm not sure, but Vicky Wilson may be a little unsure of what her best combination is, and so she's just trying things. Oh, a little slide.
Just meant that ball went over. Footwork for Jamaica, rebuild again.
Jamaica are definitely asserting their dominance on the game now, getting more of the momentum and more of the flow, and I think the score definitely is reflecting that.
Olakaro on at that goal defence position for Fiji. Seeing that little slipper foot goes from underneath her. Speed at which they're playing, and their feet out on court as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can only land with, let's say if you land with your left foot, then you can put your right foot down, and then you need to release the ball. So in that situation then, the Fijian needed one of her teammates to be available so she could release the ball as soon as possible.
Better from Romelda Aiken. So that change in there with Dee Olakaro in there, just really trying to change from the rhythm in that defensive end, Fiji.
I'm just seeing off camera, Takatoka, the goalkeeper. She looks, I don't know whether she looks to be a bit winded or a little bit dizzy. She seems to be playing the game quite well now, but just before when the ball was out of shot, she looked a bit iffy. So I'm hoping that she's okay because she is doing a great job. It's a thankless task playing against such a tall, athletic goalkeeper, and so I'm hoping that she is okay.
It's just a heavy land. She is back on her feet. But the problem is after the heavy land on the court, you've then got the body on body with Aiken in there too. Both as hard as nails.
But it's a non-contact game.
Did I just elbow you? Olakaro then.
I think the wing defence for Fiji Galau, she actually has some really great vision. So some teams play the ball gently down the court and they gradually take it along. She has great vision. She sees the depth. Where she threw that ball just then, no players got onto the end of it, but actually that was the space that needed one of the Fijian players to drive into. Jamaica just showing a bit of their athleticism. Releasing the ball really quickly, jumping, running onto it. The wing attack there, just releasing the ball ahead of the goal attack, even getting into the circle, knowing she was going to get there.
Centre pass for Fiji, being made to work around the court by this Jamaica side. Gallo with it again. Angry take from the captain, goal attack position. Can't throw those sorts of balls in when you've got Sterling in there.
At all, but I think what happens is, as Jamaica build the pressure, they were kind of set up in a diamond, so their players were in front of the Fijians. You get impatient, and that's what you want from a team. So the Fijians, they worked it around patiently, and then eventually you think, oh, I might just put it in, and then that's where Sterling comes out with that interception.
There's that body on body. A plank again.
It is pretty tough. It's a tough task, and as the game goes on, it's going to wear her down more and more. So let's hope that the keeper can stay in it, because she is actually doing a great job on Aiken.
31-9 at the moment. This for 32.
Aiken's still shooting around 70%, so she'll want to lift that up. It's okay against Fiji, and as we said, the scores does reflect that Jamaica are dominating the game, but I think Aiken is competing with her captain at goal shooter, and so it will be good for her to just get that bit of confidence and know that there's another go-to shooter for Jamaica. It is early days in the tournament, but this might be her only opportunity.
Oh, stretching every muscle. And as well, just desperate to try and get her hands on that one.
I was just going to add, yeah, people putting their bodies on the line, they want the ball, they're hungry for it. Irrespective of the score, people, they all want the ball.
I love that from Kahakatoa. Was that, no, didn't touch her, not me.
Nothing to see here. Just wanted to point out that that jump shot there from Kahakatoa. She was 3 feet away from the shooter, and she jumped in, actually got great height and was above the ball. The umpire though deemed that on her landing she infringed in the distance, so Jamaica got a second attempt at the goal.
Aiken with it, looking for Robinson. It's back out to the edge of the circle now. Rebecca Robinson settles herself. A little bit of contact, everything flying in front of her. It was a late call up to this Jamaica side. Shimona Nelson withdrew, and then Rebecca Robinson coming in and just showing that there is strength and depth in this Jamaica squad.
Jamaica do have a lot of players coming through. Their under-21 team are great, and they do have a lot of players who they can pick from. So it's interesting to see that Jamaica are...
Oh, Sterling!
Amazing. Jamaica, yeah, they have confidence. They are generating lots of players back home in Jamaica, and so it's only good for Jamaica, netball in Jamaica and the world. Aiken taking a slightly longer shot than she normally would, and it's working. Maybe she needs to step away from the post. She's been too close previously.
Step away from the post. Just under 5 minutes of this first half remaining. Aiken again, a little bit closer in. We were right behind that. Her eye was always off.
Yeah, her technique, the ball actually came slightly off the side of her hand. And so maybe that might be why she's missing goals. So her technique is slightly off there. So usually when you shoot, your hand finishes straight towards the post. So I'm not a shooter. I used to shoot. Couldn't shoot to save my life. But technically, I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, everyone have a cuddle.
A bit of flash of knickers too.
Nightlife in Liverpool.
Is it past the watershed? Are we allowed to show?
It is somewhere in the world. Oh,
that's a very difficult call. A very difficult call from the umpire.
What do you do in that situation? Your hands on the ball. I mean, do I go? No. Now Fiji build again. Quick hands, but read beautifully. What's the final product?
They're passing to me. They were passing. I think they were passing to me.
Fiji with the ball. Gallo fires the ball in. Caro comes for it. Member of the British Army. It's a couple in this Fijian ranks.
I'm just noticing Station Facey on at goal defence for Jamaica. She's been in the squad and has left the squad and come back into the squad. She's a very dominant defender. She's happy to run and put her body on the line and is very, very physical. So it will be interesting to see how Fiji contend with her.
Talking of physical, there were a couple of bits off the ball then. Contests across court that Fiji, despite the score, is standing up to at the moment. Little cheer from the court behind us. Brilliance of this arena is we've got both courts back to back.
Oh, mixed communication there.
Oh, nothing wrong with that though.
Oh, and that's great. As a goalkeeper, you want to fly for the ball. You want teams to feel comfortable, and then you just come from nowhere. Unfortunately, couldn't keep it in, and Jamaica scored, but we need more of that from Fiji.
Playing with them, Jamaica around that circle.
Oh, that brilliant ball. She got a tip on it, unfortunately couldn't run through and take it with two hands.
Now Fiji heading into the final 2 minutes of this half.
Amazing vision, and that's what we need from Fiji. You need to catch Jamaica off guard, and that was the perfect pass and the perfect placement of the pass.
Having a look round the corner. Dean Thomas. Great vision when she had Torabao in front of her. That defensive wall of Fiji in front of her too.
I think when you've got a 6'5" goal shooter, you just have confidence to let that ball go irrespective of what's happening.
You know she'll find it. Just a bit too eager to face it.
And we saw there Sterling attempting to do what was done at the other end by Katoa, coming out, trying to intercept the ball from the wing attack. She missed it there, Fiji scored.
This has been known as the cliched group of death. Fiji finished second out of the 5 teams at the Oceania World Cup, at the Oceania qualifications to make it to the World Cup, but it's when they saw what was in front of them in this group. Jamaica first up.
Yeah, I think people will be interested. The teams are pleased to be here, but you don't just want to be here. Once you get here, you want the next best thing. So you want to win every game, and then once you win your first game, you want to win your second game. And Fiji will be keen to show that they mean business at this World Tournament. So this is a tough first game for them, but I think they can definitely grow. They probably need to just improve their ball skills, and that will help them.
Last few seconds of this half. They do well to recycle the ball, Fiji. She'll have a go from here. Such confidence in around that circle. And they deserve that one.
A great reward. So an interception from Stacey. She threw an interception from Fiji, and they managed to capitalise on it. Amazing.
Last seconds to Aiken knew she had to get it up. Not enough time on the clock. They've had enough time, though, in this first half to show their mettle, Jamaica. Plenty of questions about what they can and can't do. We've seen heavy hits for this Fiji side. Just watching as a couple of their players with knocks, bumped, bruised, but they've stood up and make their way off court. They'll have the huddle, the high fives all round. Fiji couldn't quite live with Jamaica in that first half, but they've got 14 on the board. 40 plays 14. Fiji find themselves 40-14 down as they head into the third quarter here in Liverpool. Jamaica dominant in that first half. This game taking place side by side as South Africa go up against Trinidad and Tobago, the other two teams in this group. South Africa currently 22-15 up in that one. First centre pass to Fiji, and already things tough for themselves. Amma Agwezi, former England captain, alongside me, just trying to sort those annoying little bits out.
Yeah, definitely. I'm keen to point out that Rashea, the goal shooter, has gone to goal attack. She is a mover from Fiji, and so it'll be interesting to see how she goes, what vision she has, and how she feeds the ball. But for now, Jamaica putting the ball away at the other end.
With their captain back on. I mean, if you want to look to the bench and think, who should we bring on? Let's just bring in one of the world's best, Janil Fowler.
Exactly.
Cole Dixon with that feed in to Fowler. They've got such strength and options, Jamaica, but really wanting to get all those players out on court. Oh, there was a heavy hit, came all the way through.
A massive hit.
I was feeling that from Vachia. We'll give her the benefit of the doubt. It's being her international debut.
Oh, that was a great timing there on the move from Fowler. So she took a step forward, forward the defender into think she was going forward, and then led back to the post. Vachia there just using her body.
For the sails. We've all done it. Oh, did a bit of a nibble. Bolotaro thinking that she could perhaps get some joy. Back up the other end, and again Jamaica come away.
Amazing interception there from Williams. It's really confidence building to be able to stand 4 feet from a player, jump up and catch a ball as they throw it.
Fowler just with that beautiful style. As the ball goes up, she says, "I see you to it."
Yeah, I think Aiken might be a little bit disappointed. She's obviously competing with the captain of the team, one of the world's best goal shooters, and she'll be upset. She had an okay game, but her shooting not up to her usual best, and so I think she'll be frustrated to have come off, but hoping that she'll get another opportunity later in this game or later in the tournament.
Jamaica were hosts of the World Cup back in 1971 and 2003. The highest they've placed is third, but hoping to go better this time round.
Definitely. I think they're reeling in confidence. The fact that they've moved up to second in the world rankings will just give them that confidence, and they're a team that play off that. So in a game, if they're down, they get a bit agitated with each other, frustrated, but when they're up, you see the flair, you see them happy, you see them smiling. A bit how you said that they danced onto the court and they're cool and relaxed. And so I think if they're going to win this tournament, we want to see a relaxed, comfortable Jamaica.
When they're shooting like that, all is well in the world. 47-14. How can Fiji change this up? Like that, I guess.
On cue. I think, are you coaching the Fiji team?
Yeah.
Every time you say something, they do something amazing.
That's probably why they're losing, if I'm coaching.
Just a bit more practice maybe from you, Ruby. But Fiji are working hard. You see the key for this is moving around. As we've said earlier, on a really tall shooter, it's difficult to make any kind of impact. So you constantly keep moving, trying to confuse the space. It was ineffective then, but the more you wear down a shooter and their feeders, hopefully the more mistakes that they make. Out of hand there. So once a player has possession of the ball in their hands, you can't rip it out, just like happened there. Sometimes as a player, you get frustrated and you might do it, or you don't really realise the time and you don't realise that they've got possession, but that's why we've got umpires here to make sure that the game's controlled.
Or at least that's your excuse. The cheer again. Amazing. Can I remind you, this is her international debut, at least in terms of captain. She's been brilliant.
She has. She's just stepping up for the team. A long shot there, so not many shooters comfortable to shoot within a longer distance from the post, but she seems confident, she's agile, as we said, and she's instilling confidence in her team. Jamaica gain possession again, and they're patiently working it down. Great drive there from the wing attack, and perfect timing of the move there from Fowler, and she comfortably puts it away. Another Jamaican centre, and they seem more comfortable in this half. I'm not sure what was discussed at half time, but I think it was make sure you retain possession. If it's not on, don't give it. We need to comfortably build. So they'll be practicing now for how they intend to win the tournament. So it's not just about flair, it's about playing possession when necessary. Caitlin Fisher under pressure there from Williams at wing defence, and Fiji unfortunately lose possession because of a held ball. So the defence,
and 1 and 2 and 3 and that's 3.
Did you get a GCSE for that counting?
I did. Worth every penny.
And we're seeing classic Jamaica now. The shorter players on court doing all the work, changing direction, great speed, and then putting that high ball into the post, and then their tall shooter finishing it off. Definitely into their stride, Jamaica.
First couple of minutes, perhaps not quite in their stride here in Liverpool. But still Fiji with the ability. Just to ask a few questions, but they need to land those sorts of balls. Look at all the time they're having to think about where their passes go.
A great flying institution there from Paige Haney. Plays her netball in Australia for the Melbourne Vixens. But Jamaica there, they set up defensively close to the ball, putting pressure, leaving the furthest person open, and then Dehaney just read that extremely well and came round, intercepting the ball that was going to the wing attack.
There was a little defensive nudge in that passage of play just to let her know that she was there.
I'm not sure that was a nudge, that was just a slightly sliding past and clear.
Part of the movement.
Yeah. Defenders always get a bad rap for being contacty, and
Never.
Shooters and attackers do give contact. It's kind of 50-50, so it's give and take. So umpires typically just look to see if you can handle it, and I think that's sometimes why players get frustrated. So smaller, petite players are allowed to, they get contact called for them in favour of them more often than not, whereas if you're a big, strong player, the umpire seems to think that you can take that physicality.
Angry snatch of the ball and then the pass in to make with all that flair. 57-15.
Valerie just adjusting herself there, so I think she wants to be comfortable. As a captain, you are responsible for your own performance, but also you want the team to do really well. And again, we see Williams' brilliant defensive hands, so it's really difficult to intercept a ball from the hands of the person you're playing directly. But she's done that really well, so she tipped it and her teammate was there to back it up and pick up the loose ball.
As you said in that first half, so successful at setting those traps defensively, but all the work that takes. A little bounce in from Dixon.
I think that was one of those little defensive nudges that you're talking about from the wing defence of Fiji there. I think it's interesting because those little nudges that you constantly get, it is a non-contact game, but there is contact and physical pressure. And in this, your first game, you get those little nudges and it's fine, but it's just they build up over and over the tournament. So by the time you get to the last games of the tournament, your body is feeling batched, knocked and weathered.
Fisher and Wacky combining well.
Amazing decision there, threw the defender out, passed it in, goal attack, beautiful drive.
Oh, rolls
Unfortunately,
around.
unable to finish it off, and Fiji lose possession.
Love her confidence though. She won't stop shooting on the edge of the circle.
Beautiful. I love amazing, beautiful netball, and it's like Jamaica, they just know where each is going to be because they've got that athleticism and flair. They put the ball into the space and the person just runs onto it, takes it well, and they feed it in and they finish it off.
For any of their potential opponents watching this, they'll see the strength they've got in the circle. They'll also see on occasion that the ball gets gift-wrapped and given away. How could she keep that one? I mean, that would be some amazing ball while she's doing the back bends.
The Matrix.
What's that film? The Matrix, thank you.
I read your mind then. But yeah, I think she's really frustrated. As an attacker, you want to get interceptions. And as defenders, you kind of, you want your attackers to work and get those balls. And so I think she was frustrated. She did really well. She got the interception, but unfortunately, her foot was in the defensive third and she's not allowed in there.
And with a little layoff.
I think it was not little enough. It was slightly too overcooked too much, so went off the back line.
Like what Richie is trying to do though. Up the other end, Dean Thomas.
The speed that Jamaica are taking the ball through the court is just, as a defender, it's really difficult. You want the ball to come through the court slowly, so you've got time to read it and see where it's coming from.
And from Fisher.
So that's obstruction goalkeeper, and because the goalkeeper's inside the circle, Fiji get to take possession, take a shot, and an amazing shot there, another long bomb. They're very comfortable shooting from that range, so if they can work the ball around and get it into that position, I think they'll do a lot better.
The limp from Thomas, she heads straight off court. I think she'll be all right.
I think so. It was a very, maybe she needs to go to acting school, but these days, before you used to have an injury to come off, and so as you call time, the umpire would ask you, what are you calling time for? And if you
what was that one for?
If you weren't injured, you'd kind of feign an injury, and now, if you call time, you automatically have to go up. So the umpire doesn't really need to ask you, so there's no need to pretend.
Back on at the centre with the centre pass then for Jamaica. Dixon lands it. Goes back to Williams. Back in to Dixon again. She was on the run. Head down, finds it. Look at the ball off to Fowler. Ah, if only she'd stuck that.
I know, it's actually really frustrating as a defender. The ball actually was too low for Fowler, but she almost plucked it in from the hands of the defenders and unfortunately couldn't hold on to it. But she'll be calling for her team to pass higher passes into her.
Lackley can't find the hands of a teammate. Williams and Williams combining.
And that was a better height on that ball.
And this for Janelle Fowler. And that speed of the pass in. Good movement from her to try and get way into that. 63 plays 17. The high score for Jamaica at a Netball World Cup was 78. 78-35 up against Fiji in 2007. So keeping an eye on that one.
Interesting there, Fowler, since she's come on, captain of the Jamaica squad, got a lot of things to live up to, but she's shooting from 17, so she's doing pretty well, doing her job.
Super with a lovely little weighted pass in. Imelda Aiken watching on from the sidelines, and what it does, as we see Shamira Sterling riding that bike as she plays on court, no hands, as we see just the strength there, but it's also telling them on court, we've got the ability out there too, so just play to your level when you get on there too. Keep on your toes.
Exactly, take your opportunities. I can't actually do that cycling with no hands with a real bike, so I'm hoping if Shamira Sterling can show me, I'd love to learn.
And I was thinking other things that you'd like to learn from her. Not that you need defensive skills.
There's a wealth. Oh my gosh, I think that was just... Maybe that's why I didn't get picked for England.
Oh, sure.
I wasn't that great, but I'm working on it. I'll pick up all the tips I can whilst watching.
Always a captain to me. Former England captain, Emma Agwazi.
Great rebound there from Fowler. She manages a lot.
Just over a minute and a half of this third quarter remaining.
I think we just saw a bit of that physicality that I mentioned earlier in the game. So sometimes it's easy for you to pull out if you know that you're not going to get the ball or get an interception. You pull out and don't make physical contact with the body, and then sometimes you get a little bit lazy and you make sure they know you're there, even though you know you're not going to get the ball. So here we see, that she knew she wasn't getting at that ball, but just making sure Jamaica know we're still here. The score might have blown out, but we are still here.
Edge of the circle. Little lay that ball into Janelle Fowler. Final minute of this quarter then. 65-18. Make that 66. Becca Robinson also impressive. That goal attack position for Jamaica. So now the quick transition from Fiji. Can they make it? No, because again, just playing with the minds and the hands. Jamaica back in it, in their faces with the ball. Edge of the circle. The look one way and the other, but this time the hot potato can't stick for Fowler. Still ends up in the hands of the Sunshine Girls. How's about that?
Nailed. I just wanted to point out that ball into Fowler then. It wasn't on point, so you need to make sure that your feeding accuracy is decent. And Fowler did really well then to keep possession for Jamaica just by tipping it, because it wasn't in the right place where she needed it to be.
This for a 50-goal gap. No. Tried, and also a bit more for Fiji. 67-18 then. The lead for Jamaica. It's been a third quarter where they just put their foot down, Emma.
Yeah, definitely. I think they want to dominate. They want to show this competition they mean business. So the first half, they did struggle, but they're doing better now.
67 plays 18. High fives all round. The smile on the face of the Sunshine Girls. They know they're in a game. Fiji will come out and attack this fourth quarter, though. The players back out on court. What do you want to see from this Fiji side heading into their first centre pass of the final quarter?
I think just more consistency, playing possession that bit more, valuing the ball, and unfortunately they've lost it straight away, so their goal defence broke the line. So before the whistle goes, you're not allowed in the centre third, and that's an unforgivable mistake. You don't want to lose possession that easily.
Bit of a change in that circle. No change in the safe hands of Janelle Fowler.
This is a great combination that Jamaica put out here. I've always wanted to see Fowler and Aitken, and they have played in four and it's been a bit iffy, but I think they know that if they're going to win this tournament, they need options, and their other goal attacks are pretty short, I think around 5'7", so having these two tall timbers in the end just is going to give grief to defensive combinations.
Can we just qualify that? As an England defender, you never wanted to see this combination.
Ever. It's probably thankful mainly for the first time that I'm not playing. It's going to be a pretty tough art for any defensive combination. And Aitken is very mobile for a 6'5" girl. She can run, she can move, she can hold, she's agile.
Flames in that attacking end, flames in the defensive end as well for Jamaica. A quick ball, the way they got that away and through court in this transition against Fiji.
It's really nice to see the Sunshine Girls are smiling and they're looking at each other, they're having nice conversations, and I think they're definitely comfortable, they're relaxed. They know that Australia scored 88 goals earlier, so I feel like now they're going to want to be chasing that just to stamp their authority on the competition, make everyone know that on the first day we scored the most goals. Fiji have also made a change, so at goal shooter they have Kanapasa. She's 6'3", so hoping that she can maybe be a bit more physical one-on-one, a static holding shooter. Maybe she can comfortably put goals away.
Big goal that. Fiji's lowest Netball World Cup score was 18 goals, so they've just gone past that too.
And that's brilliant. I'm not sure as a player if you don't think about those stats. You want to do the best that you can do, and it's just statisticians like yourself who come up with those numbers. But Fiji will definitely be happy that they have broken one of their own records, but I think they'll be frustrated with themselves at how they lost possession so easily. Not to underestimate the pressure that Jamaica are putting on, because Jamaica, as we've just seen there, they're coming up for flies, they're putting pressure on them, and they're backing each other up really well. Great timing there from the goal shooter. Agile sent the goalkeeper one way, pops free and puts it away. We saw then on that centre part, Aitken actually didn't come up to the line. She almost was in a close circle, so that's when the goal shooter and the goal attack both start in the circle and leave the work of the play with the centre and the wing attack. It didn't pull off that time, but we'll see hopefully if they do that again later.
So close. All those little nips and tucks around the circle.
That was good deception there from the goal attack. So she faked the ball low and then put it up high. And as a defender, you can't. It's really difficult to go from high to low and interchange that quickly. And so that just opened up the space for the shooter under the post.
Some good work going on between Fisher and Sibite at that centre position as well. And the captain settles. She's been great in this.
She has. I'm liking her work. She's unassuming. She works really hard. She's got good defensive ability, and she's really showing herself as a captain.
Oh, and it inspires her team as well to gobble that ball up. Kawhi with an unconventional pass finds its way through.
I'm happy for unconventional, but it needs to get there. So usually you'd use a chest pass or a shoulder pass. That was sort of a half a rugby pass, but it got there this time.
Oh, what was that then? Top draw.
That was an amazing shot. Oh, that was very close then from Nawai. Almost broke the line again as a goal defence. You don't want to make that mistake once, but if you make it twice, it's unforgivable.
Jamaica afraid to use that long ball through court.
That was actually a great interception there. What actually happened was Aiken stepped back. Her timing was up for the pass, so she stepped back before the ball actually came to her. So as a holding shooter, you want to hold your space until the ball's in the air, and that just opened up and allowed the keeper to come through for a brilliant interception.
All that good work from Bolokara, and up the other end, Jamaica come back with the ball again. It's frustrating as a defender when you manage to get that ball, manage to get it back down court for your team.
Yeah, it's such a tough job. You work really hard. That's an amazing interception there. She came through with her reverse hand and then chased it down, which is what from an early age you teach players. If you get a tip, chase it down, and she did that really well.
Aiken was offering. Fowler now to make it 74-23, and they move to within 4 goals of their highest score at the Netball World Cup, Jamaica.
Katie and Haney coming out for an amazing fly. Jamaica did really well, so they closed down the short options really tightly, so the ball carrier doesn't know where to pass the ball. The only option they see is the far option. The goalkeeper reads it perfectly and timed it well, got that interception. And we see that interception here, so that player looks open to the goal attack, and Dehaney just reads it perfectly. Brilliant defensive play there by Fiji. So another reverse hand interception by the keeper.
Just some talking to from the umpire, and Fisher with a fake pass. It's time to her captain. The lead will step in, and another one on the ball.
Yeah, what Romeo did really well then was she did a brilliant split landing before she got the ball. So she received it quite close to the circle edge, but her back foot was close to the post. So as she steps up, the defender has to move back 3 feet from her back foot, and she put that ball away perfectly.
See her contact outside. Hold time. 6 minutes out of play. Jamaica goal kick.
I just want to mention Nicole Dixon, the Jamaican centre. She's really hard-working, very athletic, connects this team really well. She's actually only about 5'5", and lots of times people ask, am I too short to play netball? You're never too short to play netball. You work with the height that you have, and as long as you can do the job that you're doing, that's perfect. So Dixon there for Jamaica, a brilliant example of you can be any height and still play netball.
So 76-24, a couple of goals off Jamaica's highest score against Fiji at a Netball World Cup, said back in 2007. Largest score at a World Cup was 114 back in 1991.
A great give and go there from Dixon. So she looked forward, there was nothing on. She passed the ball back to the line defensively, still nothing on. She passed it back and got it back. So just working herself into play then, waiting for her teammates to get ready and offer her some a decent pass to give.
A couple of lovely passages of play from Fiji.
and it falls to Fijian hands at 6 by luck.
Wanted that layup in.
I don't think the ball touched the post, so you can't throw the ball to yourself. So when you shoot, if it touches the ring, then you can rebound the ball and have another go. If it doesn't touch the ring, it's deemed as replaying, and I think that's what the umpire deemed that happened there.
Shall we VAR it?
Yes, I like that.
There we go.
Oh! I think she was a bit hard done by then. She did give the umpire a little look, and unfortunately, there is no VAR in netball. I think there'd be a lot of players who would be keen to get it.
You'd be at it the whole time, though.
Constantly. I think maybe if they just said 1 per quarter per team.
So Jamaica matching their highest score then against Fiji. Aiken combining with Fowler.
The defenders there did a good switch, so the goalkeeper ran out onto the goal attack in an attempt to blindside them and come out with a tip, and the goal defence ran into the goal shooter. Unfortunately, it wasn't productive then. Jamaica a little bit confused about who's coming on, what position they're playing, a bit of tussle between bibs, but I think they finally made it, sorted it, and Sterling is going on to goal defence.
Not that she needs a breather, but it does give her that little opportunity while they muck around with the bibs.
I think it was all that bike riding she was doing earlier. Dehaney and Sterling in the circle is a very good defensive combination. Their arm span is huge. You talk about the shooter's arm span when you're trying to defend against it, but as an attacker, you see a space, you think it's on, and then go gadget arm of Shamira Sterling or Katie and Dehaney comes out from nowhere.
Fowler needed a couple of those then, but it gives Fiji the chance for Suvatea there to build from the back again. Having to look round. Quick feet, brilliant feet from the captain. Trying to do the job of 3 then.
Very exciting, and Fiji have managed to win the back line. It was brilliant. It was just the speed of movement there from the goal attack. Umpire's just making sure that play is set correctly as she wants it to be, but unfortunately it's meant that Fiji have lost possession. Jamaica just patiently working the ball around. There was a little bit of contact there from the goalkeeper on Aiken, and interestingly the umpire just allowed it to happen. Played advantage, didn't even say anything about it, but that's just netball. Oh, there's a few words happening between the keeper and the shooter, Jamaica and Fiji, but they've smiled. It's okay, we can breathe. I'm not sure that anybody wants to get on the wrong side of Fowler or Aiken, actually, both of them.
You say that, but Bolokaro is a Royal Engineers Lance Corporal.
Okay, maybe she's got it. Go for it, girlfriend.
Just ticking it over, Fiji. We could make plenty of the score up the other end for Jamaica, but Fiji still running to the end.
Fiji seem a bit rushed. They seem to play patient netball. Work the ball through the court. This is what they're doing. It's great. Timing is imperative in netball, and so timing of the movement, but also timing of the ball. Oh, and she's put her under immense pressure there and lots of possession.
Contact call. Sterling will offload the ball. Beautifully read there from the goalkeeper. She runs out. Unfortunately, she can't get both hands on it and pull it in. But it's great pressure from Fiji. Centre pass then for Fiji. Wood came out for it. Just round the back of her. Unable to hang on to that one. This hunting impacts defensively. The changes that they've made, it's still been fluid for Jamaica. And when you are playing such intense netball day after day after day, you need those changes to be able to step right onto court, be up with the speed of it too, which they're showing.
Definitely, you cannot win a tournament with just 7 players because it does wear you down. And this game, the score might reflect that it's easy, but as I've said, those physical little knocks that you constantly get, they add up by the end of the tournament. So you need your squad of 12 and you need them to be on point ready. Also for injury, you're not sure, you might have a 7 who you think they're going to play the grand final and they're going to win it for me, but you don't know what's going to happen throughout the tournament. So you need to make sure that everybody's sharp and everybody's ready to go. A great hold there from the shooter. So we saw there,
it was a great assist in there as well, wasn't it?
She held her position. She didn't move off until the ball was in the air, and she took it perfectly.
Aiken with a bullet ball in to Fowler. Round the corner she finds her. Aiken again, too far out. She'll try and reset. Shanice Beckford opts to go to Fowler though. Such great upper body strength from the captain. 84-27.
Just wanted to point out there, the umpire, Angela Armstrong-Lutch, she's from New Zealand and she's been really good at not calling too many contacts and obstructions. So if she deems it's okay that the players can get the ball away, she won't call it. So recently, just then on the circle edge, there was a contact, but she just allowed it to play. She played advantage and the pass went in. So we don't want too much whistle in netball. People often complain that there is too much whistle.
Ping, 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 ping.
And so just allowing the game to flow a bit more, and I think Armstrong-Lutch is doing that really well.
Both these umpires experienced, and when the netball's so fast, so furious as well, being able to keep your eye on everything that's happening on court.
That was a great ball there, great vision. She kept her eye on everything that's happening. Her other teammates did the work. I think Katie Andif-Haley was slightly off guard then, trying to make up for it though with a tip on the shot. A really difficult thing to do. Get your timing right, jump as high as you need to tip the shot. Didn't come off that way, but Shamira Sterling has a go too. Hers came off, and unfortunately, it's replay. But that's the danger of those two players. Their arms are so long. You want to shoot, you want to be comfortable, you can't when they're around.
There's no postage stamp between them, is there? Such body on body inside that circle. Last few seconds of this, Fiji hunting for that 29th goal. Fisher's been a real standout player for them, as has their captain. Every opportunity she's had. Jamaica's players went early on the bench. They thought that was the full-time whistle. No such doing. Time for Fiji to sink one more. Last 3 seconds. They'll need to be quick, Jamaica. If they want this one, they have the target inside the circle, but not enough time on the clock. 85-29. It is the biggest score for Jamaica at a Netball World Cup against Fiji. The previous gap, 43 goals, but this time 85 plays 29. Fiji kept tussling right until the very end, but it's Jamaica who come out with a convincing win. Amara Gracie seeing that Fijian side on there. They'll be a little bit downhearted, but they knew this was always going to be a task against this Jamaican side.
Yeah, it was going to be a tough match, and it was tough for them. They actually did really well. They had a lot of possession. They made a lot of unforced errors, but I think Jamaica warmed into the game and they showed why they mean business. Having their two bookends on the court at the same time, I think teams will be watching that and they'll be worried. This Jamaica team, they've got a point to prove.
There's a lovely moment on court between Bolokaro and also Facey then. Both players that have been and experienced life here in the UK before, and this showing here in Liverpool just what they've got ahead. $85-29 then. Up next for Fiji. A very different task, but just as tough. South Africa doesn't get any easier. For Jamaica, they face Trinidad and Tobago in Group C. The match still going on behind us on court too. And this very much a side then, Jamaica, that will go with their flair, with the smile too, into that next game as they trudge off court. I say trudge, there's been a bounce all the way along for this Jamaica's side. Aiken, who stepped up, was in that first couple of quarters. Well, she saw Janelle Fowler waiting on from the bench. But up on the big screen, you can see the other game going on here inside the arena. South Africa up against Trinidad and Tobago. Said no rest up for any of these teams at the World Cup. Day after day after day, they'll face such level of teams here in Liverpool. Just the towel down then for Jamaica, the likes of Facey. They've been through it out on court, even though they've got those players out there. Shamira Sterling was definitely as happy on court as she was on that bike, just showing her sporting prowess and also ability to tie a ribbon or two. This Jamaica side then off and running in their hopes for the World Cup. lots of very different smiles on faces from the Fijians now, but enjoying their moment on this court. The likes of Panapasa too and Waka, players that have really come out onto court and shown their strength. How good was their captain as well, Raul Looney, 6 out of 8, 75% in that last passage of play. But the strength from Janelle Fowler, 33 out of 35, 94% her shooting stats. Beauties on court, Fiji with their play. Moments when we saw that beauty come out, the speed of some of their balls, their defensive prowess too, an attacking flair, but just not a match then for this Jamaica side. They're heading into the 2019 World Cup ranked as number 2 in the world, finished 4th at the 2 previous World Cups in 2011 and 2015. Quality on court then. Let's hear from our player of the match.
Thanks very much, Caroline. Shamira, I suspect this won't be the first player of the match and the last one. Congratulations. How was your World Cup debut?
Well, it was good. I thought I could have worked some more, but the team went on well, so we're happy for the win.
You are everybody's favourite player to watch. How have you dealt with the pressure of that?
Well, I don't think it's pressure. I'm just giving the fans what they want, just basically, yeah.
Vanjali Williams just in front of you on her 50th cap. She certainly helped you out a bit, didn't she, today? She had a phenomenal performance.
Vanji's a legend, and with Vanji ahead of me, I think I'll be good.
And just tell us about the shoes, because could you not find a pair of shoes when you went out on court this morning? You had one pink, one blue, and then we saw you with 2 blue a bit later.
Well, I was just trying to break these ones in, but now I have my Mizuno, so I'll be wearing my Mizuno as from now.
Thanks very much, Shamira. Well played today.